Is everybody ready? Anybody need more time? Where, Jagasananda, is it in this book? Where? Page 14. Oh, okay. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Briksha Laksha Vratesu Surabhir Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevimanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kanvantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Parhavatam Sam Asitam Buddha Sundarangam Gandharpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandra Kala Sadvanamalya Vankshi Ratnangadam Pranaya Keli Kala Vilasam Shambham Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmayara Sarujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam Advaitam Achutim Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedesha Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Bantashtu Koti Shatavatsara Sampragam Yo Vayoratapi Manasomuni Pungavanam Sopyasti Yad Papana Sincha Vachincha Tatve Ekopyaso Rachayatam Jagadanda Koti Yayadantaha Andantarasta Paramanu Shayantarastam Yadbhava Bhava Tadiyomana Jasta Taiva Tamprapya Rupa Mahima Shanayana Boshaha Suktairiyam Eva Nikama Pratavaistavanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasaprati Bhavitabis Tabirya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabihi Goloka Eva Nibisatya Kilatma Bhoto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochane Chimchakuna Sarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadi Murtu Shukalani Yamena Tishtan Nanavataram Akarod Bhovaneshu Kinto Krishnak Swayam Samabhavak Paramak Pamanyo Govindamadi Purusham Maharaja. Yada Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Koti yatra ksharagni shravati surabhivyascha sumahan Nimeshad yakyo vavrajati nahi vitrapi samaya Jeshveta dvipam tamaham iha lokahityam Dantaste shantarshati virala charakati paye Namah Hare Krishna. I don't think he needs a microphone. Soft. No microphone. Hare Krishna. So now we will perform the Ashamana, and then after that we will change your neck beads, and then devotees will garland them. So I will request the garlands to be brought here, and they should be ready. Okay. Sing. Mridanga. So soft. So I will chant a mantra, and then you will repeat after me. Okay. Om apavitro pavitro va sarvavastham vitopi va Yasmaret Pundarikaksha Sabahaya Abhyantara Suchihi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Narayanaya Namaha Om Madhavaya Namaha Om Apavitro Pavitro Va Sarvavastham Gatopi Va Yasmaret Pundarikaksha Sabahya Abhyantara Suchihi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Narayanaya Namaha Om Madhavaya Namaha Om Apavitro Pavitro Va Sarvavastham Gatopi Va Yasmaret Pundarikaksha Sabahya Abhyantara Suchihi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Maha Om Madhavaya Namaha Hare Krishna. So now the neck bead should be changed. Neck bead should be changed. Mangala is here. Okay. The neck beads first, then the garlands.
What time did the buses reach last night? 11. Good morning. No more buses. No more long journey buses, anyways. One of the concerns about conducting yatras other than Mayapur, Vrindavan, and Puri was what you experienced yesterday evening. Because our organizers have done a fantastic job. Let's hear it for the organizers. And the bus drivers too. So one of the things that I was resisting for the longest time going to other places was these long bus rides. And then sometimes it was overnight train rides and in South India. And it's austere for you and it's austere for the organizers to keep all that complicated set of things together. But we made it. And this is the concluding destination of this Ayodhya yatra, ending in Chitrakoot. And Chitrakoot is where the Ayodhya Kanda of Valmiki Ramayana ends. There's several parts of Valmiki Ramayana. We've been discussing now 2, and the conclusion is here in Chitrakoot, Balakanda and Ayodhya Kanda. Most of the day today, you'll be doing something that our yatra attendees really like to do. They like to visit places and see deities and climb steps and go to the next place, and that's fine. So I'll begin this morning just describing some of those places, and then tomorrow some more places. And first, Chitrakoot itself. We heard yesterday about the beauty and splendor and so many other nice qualifications of Chitrakoot. The meaning literally means Kut, or Kuta means mountain, and Chitra means beautiful. So it's a beautiful mountain. It was the place recommended first by Bharadraj Muni, we heard yesterday, then Valmiki Muni, and based on the recommendation of these 2 perfectly realized souls, Ram accepted their recommendation, and Chitrakoot became the place of residence, the first exile place, banished to the forest place, first several months, according to Valmiki Ramayana. After Bharata comes here, not just Bharata, everybody, Shatrughna, the 3 queens, Vashishta, Vamadev, the ministers, the whole army, so many citizens, so many brahmanas. There was a big assembly in this remote place. It's in the forest, but after Ram declines, returning back to Ayodhya to become the king, there's a series of pastimes that took place, and the places of pastimes that you'll be seeing today are in relation to the period of stay that they remained. And Valmiki Ramayana says after Bharata left, the mood in Lord Ramachandra's heart was very heavy, and so he wanted to leave. Of course, that's part of the Leela, because he had other activities to perform with others, and so he did. But the place is very beautiful, and the significance is significant. It's special. It is said that not only Sita, Ram and Lakshman stayed here for some time, but others also came. Valmiki explains, Bharadraj also explains that many rishis and ascetics would stay here in Chitrakoot, performing austerities, and it was besides the loveliness of the place, it was nice association amongst the sages, and there was plentiful supply from natural requirements of fruits, and everything that the sages required was here. And apparently others also came, significant personalities. Dattatreya, an partial incarnation of Lord Vishnu, one of the sons of Atri and Anasuya. Atri and Anasuya came here and performed austerities. Markandeya Rishi came and performed austerities here, and a host of others. It has special significance as a holy place, and it appears first in scripture in relation to Valmiki Ramayana. Of course, Valmiki Ramayana was written even before the Vedas were compiled in a written form. Valmiki Ramayana describes this place, Chitrakoot, in glorious fashion. Lord Ramachandra, I didn't go into the detail, but he also, in Valmiki Ramayana, speaks pages of the glories of this place. He really liked it. And subsequently, writers about Ram's pastimes, poets, literateurs, describe Chitrakoot in very brilliant language. Foremost amongst them, we'll hear some more tomorrow, about Tulsidas. Those of you from India, you all know Tulsidas, and those of us from other places, we don't know so much. We'll hear tomorrow about his life. It is said that he spent several years here, worshipping Ram, hankering intensely for darshan of Ram. So I'm going to describe some of the places that you will be visiting today, starting with Ramghat. Ghat means bathing place, and Ramghat is the place where Sita Ram and Lakshman would bathe on a daily basis, and so a ghat was created. Those of you that have been to or have seen pictures of the Shashvamedha Ghat from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that's the place where Lord Chaitanya instructed Sanatana Goswami and then later Rupa Goswami and Varanasi. And so visually it's very similar. Many steps, long stretch of steps going down to the river. And devotees of Ram are very fond. Pilgrims come to Ramghat. It's the most popular place, and take their bath and recite their prayers and hear Ramayana Katha and so forth. Do their worship of Lord Ramachandra at this Ramghat place. There's a shrine where it is said that one day the beloved object of worship of Tulsidas, Lord Ramachandra, appeared before him. At least the description goes like this. One day he was making sandalwood paste by the side of Ramghat, and two boys, he didn't recognize them, Ram and Lakshman, came before him and requested that he apply tilak to their forehead. And he did. He applied tilak to their forehead, not at the moment realizing who it was that was asking for the tilak. This event is, in our line, something similar to when Govinda, Gopal came before the great Acharya in our disciplic line, when he was sitting and simply chanting, and he came to give a pot of milk, and he accepted the pot of milk but didn't recognize this was his worshipable Lord Krishna, Madhavendra Puri. So those who are ardent lovers of Lord Ramachandra particularly appreciate Tulsidas. This is a place of importance for them also. Another place that we'll be visiting is Bharata Koop. In local language, Koop means well. It's a place where at Bharata Koop marks, at least the local people say, where Bharata provided the sandals, the padukas, for Ram to step on, so that he could take the footwear of Lord Ram back to Ayodhya, place on the throne, and he would rule on behalf of Ram, who was the king, accepting Ram as the king, while he was in the forest for 14 years. It is said that there are some marks in stone, and these are the marks of the four brothers as they were standing at this place. And the well itself, Valmiki Ramayana describes, when Bharata went to find Lord Ramachandra in the forest, his intention, his wish, was that he could perform the installation ceremony right there in the forest, and Ram would come back and rule. So he brought the paraphernalia for the ritual of installation, including sacred waters from so many places, carried by the caravan that was going into the forest. And when Ram declined, he then, rather than carry all the water back, he deposited the water in this well, Bharata Kup. And at least we can say it memorializes that pastime. Whether it's not spoken in Valmiki Ramayana that Bharata took the time to dig a well. It just describes he took the sandals and went back to Ayodhya. But Bharata Kup signifies or memorializes this particular pastime. There's another place that we will visit today, Hanuman Dhara. It's a hill. You get to walk up 360 steps. If you're old, I don't know what's going to happen. They don't have an elevator. At the top of these steps, there's a deity of Hanuman that you'll see from time to time in different places. Pancha Mukha Hanuman. Pancha Mukha means he's being depicted with 5 faces. Pancha Mukha Hanuman. And up on this hill, it is said by the locals, they say lots of things. It is said by the locals this is where Sita had her kitchen. I don't know why she'd go up on a hill to have a kitchen, but... And from that place, if you go up those 360 steps, you'll get a nice vista picture of Chitrakoot area. Very picturesque. The river that passes by is the Mandakini River, and apparently there's 2 Mandakini that goes through Kedarnath, and there's this Mandakini Ganga that flows through Chitrakoot. The origin of the Mandakini Ganga that flows through Chitrakoot is very interesting. It's a gorge where there's this big gush of water that flows down the gorge and then flows to another place, and it flows down that gorge, and then it becomes the Mandakini River. And along the banks of the Mandakini River are some places that I believe you'll be visiting tomorrow, and we'll hear about it tomorrow, not today. An ashram of Anasuya mentioned, Atri and Anasuya. We'll hear something about the life of Anasuya tomorrow, and a place where she underwent austerities and so forth. Anasuya Ashram. And another place you'll hear about tomorrow also, Spatika Shila. So these are along the banks of the river Mandakini. And 2 more places just mentioned that you'll be seeing today, so you can listen carefully, so when you get there you know what the history is. Janaki Kund. Janaki is one of the names of Sita because she's the son of Janaka, so one of her names is Janaki. And there's a Kund marking the place where it is said that Sita would sometimes bathe. It's very interesting. Along the side of the river, the Godavari River, there's a very steep embankment, and along the steep embankment there's a cave, and the Godavari River flows into the cave, and nobody knows where it goes after that. At least some of the Godavari River flows into the cave. So Janaki Kund and the final place is that you'll see today is where they rested. Ram rested, and it's given the name Ram Saya. So we'll hear some more this evening and tomorrow as well about Chitrakoot and the places in Chitrakoot, the significance of it's a holy place. This is my first time coming, and those that I have heard who have been here before, somehow they get really enlivened and like wired. They become excited, describing how lovely it is. Not just the beauty of the place, but the spiritual significance of the place and the feel of the place. So it has some very special qualifications, and certainly not as well known as Ayodhya by name in the world, but those that are connoisseurs of rasa, like Tulsidas, he made his ashram here for years. It's very special in the mood of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. So now I'll speak something about this initiation process that we'll be conducting today. I thought most appropriate is just to recall some of the lessons or understandings that we've heard and gained from the time spent discussing the pastimes of Ramachandra, on particularly the spiritual master-disciple relationship and how important it is. Particularly outstanding, at least for me, is the position of Valmiki. We've been hearing primarily, the primary source is Valmiki Ramayana, and Valmiki speaks of himself as an object of mercy or a product of mercy. Now, as we have heard, there's different versions, the Valmiki Ramayana version and others. The others speak of him as previously he was a robber and a dacoit, and then got elevated to this position of Valmiki. The Valmiki Ramayana speaks of him otherwise, that he was this, born from an anthill, and didn't have the dacoit pastime, but he was somehow, and he ponders, why, amongst all the persons, why was it that I was selected to be the author of this Ramayana? And then he traces it backwards. He sees Sita, and then he understands it's her presence. And her presence was the arrangement of Lord Ram, that Ram sent her here. So I became the recipient of Sita's mercy because of the mercy of Ram. And I received the mercy of Ram because of chanting the holy name of Ram. And I received the chanting of the holy name of Ram because of the mercy of Narada. And Narada's mercy is simply causeless. Narada doesn't go around looking for, who's a good candidate, and then goes to the Narada's capacity. Of course, he's empowered, Shakti-avesh avatar, empowered by the Lord's bhakti shakti. He has it in fullness, and that's the Lord's bhakti shakti is pretty full, and Narada bears that or carries that in fullness. And so many persons were the recipients of Narada's mercy. Now we're just taking the topic of initiation or receiving mercy through disciplic succession in this way. And Narada describes how he received it, and he received it by receiving mercy in his previous lifetime from the Bhakti Vedantas. And they became who they became by receiving. So the cascading effect of descending mercy, and where it's going to land, who knows? Such exalted personalities, like in ISKCON, our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, I heard it from his lips these years, Prabhupada giving credit to his spiritual master for making him into who he was. I remember the lecture very well. One of them. This is in New York, in Brooklyn, and hot summer day, and Prabhupada was saying, my spiritual master found me in some dark place, and he made me fortunate. Now, and at other times Prabhupada gives credit to his father by association with his father, Gaur Mohan. His father petitioned sadhu after sadhu after sadhu after sadhu after sadhu, please bless my son that he become a nice devotee of Radharani. And his father trained him in the ways of Vaishnavism. Prabhupada gives credit to his father. But in any case, his father and Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada credits himself as being a product of mercy. Now, it's not that there wasn't anything that Prabhupada had as qualification to be a fit recipient of mercy, because there were other family members of Srila Prabhupada, and they weren't the same as Srila Prabhupada, and there were other disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta that they received the same potential capacity of mercy from Bhaktisiddhanta. So there's a requirement of receptiveness, we'll say it, eagerness to receive in the descending mercy. That's our good fortune, according to the teachings of Rupa Goswami. There's some preliminary faith that when the mercy comes, we say yes, instead of no, or let me think about it, which is a soft no, usually. And for some of us as devotees, it may have taken some time to say yes. But it's that eagerness to receive, along with the qualified deliverer, that makes for the combination to work. Prabhupada speaks like this about Srimad Bhagavatam, the qualified speaker, Shukadeva Goswami, the qualified receiver, Maharaj Parikshit. Or, from our yatra, we heard at the Sutta Gadi, this very amazing description of Bhagavat Mahatmya, and there's a little section, I didn't go through the detail of it, but the qualified speaker and the qualified receiver. And there's different qualified receivers, different qualifications. And we have the qualification that we have. We can't imagine us to have something we don't have. But we can become gradually more qualified and more qualified by good association and by acting according to the understandings that we have received through that good association. Our lives can change. Lives change. Everything changes. Everything changes. The soul doesn't change, but the condition of the soul, everything around it, can be fully transformed by descending mercy and the eagerness to receive it. Now, one other thing I want to emphasize is from Ramayana, what we've been hearing, outstanding for me is the mood of course, the mood of love, but the mood of love is expressed in the form of service. Interesting to note is that many people who are translators of Bhagavad Gita, because the word bhakti appears again and again, they translate it as devotion, something that you feel. Prabhupada consistently didn't just call it devotion, it's devotional service. It's the mood with which you do what you do. And what you do is service, and the mood with which you do what you do, that's bhakti. So we've heard of different personalities, with the exception of Manthara, the rotten apple that spoiled the barrel, at least spoiled Kaikeyi, because previously Kaikeyi was as devoted to Ram as anybody else. The whole of Ayodhya, except for one rotten personality, which Valmiki Ramayana and the other Ramayans in different ways say it was part of the demigod's plan that she would do what she did, and part of the demigod's plan that Kaikeyi would speak the way that she spoke to precipitate, to hasten along the killing of Ravana. Lord Vishnu had descended, at least as far as they were concerned, primarily for that reason: get rid of Ravana. He's a terrorist that nobody can stop except for Vishnu. Anyway, the feelings of love expressed in the form of service is many. There's such diversity. So that teaches us the science of rasa. There's many different relationships. And the part of the beauty of the relationships of loving service in Ram's pastimes surpass, variegatedness-wise, the pure love that exists in Vaikuntha. It's not that in Vaikuntha they have less than pure love. They're perfected souls. And perfect, more perfect, most perfect, continues in the form of the intimacy of that love and the variegatedness of that love and loving service, performing service and love, as Lakshman did, as we haven't heard yet of Hanuman, but Hanuman and Sugriva and Jambavan, but just the part of the Ramayana that we've heard so far. Vishwamitra Muni, Vashishta, without naming all the names. Just hearing the names is purifying. But there's one thing they all have in common. Ram. Ram. I don't know if you heard this morning. I was hearing somebody somewhere after saying his prayers to Hanuman was Ram 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 Ram, and Valmiki did that for a long time, years and 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 years. So we may chant the name for years and years. Keep chanting. Chant with attention and with love, but they all have this one thing in common. So that's part of the function that Guru represents in the life of the devotee. It's what Bhaktisiddhanta did with Prabhupada. Prabhupada had the training of his father to be a Vaishnav, but he went over that way as a follower of Gandhi. And Bhaktisiddhanta brought him to the lotus feet of Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so he became what he became by that mercy. And all of us. Srila Prabhupada, on the order of Bhaktisiddhanta, gave the message of Lord Chaitanya to the world, who he didn't even know. He just knew there was a world out there, and the order of the spiritual master on his head. And so we all were doing something before we became Krishna Bhaktas. We all had our something, faith, and the practices along with that, and quite variegated, I'm sure, if we did a survey of where we were at before we became a devotee. Be a very interesting collage, like fireworks or something. Very interesting. But somehow here we are at the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, singularly focused. And that's the gift. That's the message. It's connecting back with what I was attempting to express in the very beginning of our yatra, coming closer to the position of taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in this case, Lord Ramachandra. But Ramachandra is an expansion of Krishna. Within Krishna is everything, including Ramachandra. Come to the position that this exclusive devotion. Now, that's the spiritual master function. And the disciple function is progressively to say yes, progressively move to that position. The primary means is through sound. And sound awakens consciousness, and consciousness results in service with devotion. Because we're all serving, then service with devotion unto the personality of Godhead. And how do we understand what's pleasing to the personality of Godhead? Through those who are representing Him. That's pleasing to the personality of Godhead. More than somebody who thinks, I'm going to please the personality Godhead. See you later. It's part of Krishna's plan. It's part of Krishna's arrangement. That this system of coming to him is through those who represent him. It's very practical, as well as very loving. And they're not at odds with each other. Practical doesn't mean not loving, and loving doesn't mean not practical. Rupa Goswami expresses it, and I'll end with this, in the principal verse of the entire exalted Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the summary of the teachings that Lord Chaitanya gave to Rupa Goswami and told him to write it. Take the teachings, expand the teachings, write it down carefully. So he did. We heard a little bit of that from this mood of sorrow, remember, from the fifth wave of the southern division of the ocean of nectar. So, that all came from Lord Chaitanya in expanded form presented by Rupa Goswami. So, the principal verse of the whole Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is one. Everything else rests upon this one. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnanakarma jnanavratam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. As what I was sharing with you the other morning about this Sthayi Bhava and sorrow topic, Jiva Goswami has given commentary on Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and it's available, translated into English. Compliments of Bhanu Swami. So Jiva Goswami's commentary on that principal verse is that in this verse there are different elements, one of them being Swarup and the other being Tatastha. So it's a little philosophy, but bear with me, it's nice. Swarup means principle, and Tatastha means marginal, just like living entities. We're Tatastha Shakti. There's this internal potency, there's this external potency, and then there's us. Marginal in between internal and external. Tatastha means marginal. So there are three characteristics or elements within this verse, according to Jiva Goswami, that are Tatastha. Largely, we hear that we should give up sense gratification and mental speculation. Jnana karma jnanavratam. Those are two. Then we commonly also hear that we should follow the example of great authorities. Anushilana. Anu means follow. Shila means conduct or behavior or activity. We follow the great souls. We hear that commonly also. Jiva Goswami says that's also Tatastha. Whoa. So what's Swarup? What's principle? The principal one is Anukulyena. Keeping it simple. It means everything's dedicated to Krishna. The giving up of this and accepting of that, and it's all dedication to Krishna. The varieties of what we don't and the varieties of what we do for the pleasure of Krishna. That's bhakti. That's the essence of bhakti. So, initiation means there's some degree, at least, of maturity where one has said yes reasonably consistently. Not perfectly yet, but reasonably consistently enough that, and within ISKCON, the authorities who are overseeing this devotee service says they're ready. They're a suitable candidate for being formally connected with the cyclic succession, being accepted by Krishna because they accept Krishna. They still have, it's a beginning, but there's formality to that beginning. And formality isn't unimportant. Formality is important. Like the Brahmanas in Valmiki Ramayana, they would undergo performance of sacrifices. They didn't just think about, okay, I think I'll do some sacrifice, and they just think about it and they don't do it. They do it. They perform, and they do it regularly. So the formality of initiation is important. For unless you're Shukadev Goswami, I don't know, maybe there's some Shukadev Goswamis in the audience, but for the rest of us, it's necessity. It's not an option. It's a necessity, and with proper preparation and qualification and so forth. Then this formality of submitting to disciplic succession and being accepted by disciplic succession and making that link secure, and then continuing to strengthen that link through ongoing submission in spiritual elevation by the bhakti process, strengthening our acceptance of Krishna as the goal of my life and nothing else, and just making our words and our actions and our decisions and our relationships centered around that one thing. That's what we're doing. So just some thoughts on what we've been hearing. How does what we've been hearing connect with what we're doing right now? Very important step in a very sacred place, Chitrakoot, very dear to Lord Ramachandra. And because it's dear to Lord Ramachandra, dear to the devotees of Ramachandra. All the way from China to receive your initiation in Chitrakoot. They chose. They could have received initiation in Beijing, but they chose to come here and have their initiation in Chitrakoot. So, Jagannath, we're ready for the... So, Manish, you come forward and offer obeisances. How are we doing with time? It's 9:15. What time do we have to end? 10 minutes ago? Huh? 9:30 or so. Okay, we'll okay. How long have you been chanting? How many years? 15. He's been incubating a long time. He's ripe. Ripe mango. Okay. So, how many rounds you'll chant every day? Minimum 16. And the rules that you'll follow? Okay. And you'll make your best effort to carefully follow Prabhupada's teachings for your rest of your life. Very good. Initiated name is Mahamuni Das. Mahamuni is one of the names of Vyasadeva. Surjit. We don't have time. Maybe we do have time. I was going to something that's very nice to do at initiations is to say some nice things and have some devotees say some nice things about each devotee, and that's the reason why I asked how are we doing for time. Another time. Are you living in Kanpur, or are you connected with the temple? You're in the temple, or just connected with the temple, like a congregation member? Congregation member. How long have you lived in Kanpur? Oh. Uh-oh. 8 years. Okay. May you live a long life. There's a lot of service to do in Kanpur. We'll be there next year for our midterm meeting. He knows. Okay. How many rounds you'll chant every day? And the rules that you'll follow? You say it in Hindi. Say it in Hindi. You got it. Okay. And you'll carefully follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. Your initiated name is Sitaram Das. The name needs no explanation. Tirupati? I've known Tirupati for, I don't know, somewhere between 15 and 20 years. Very strong intellect, strong devotion, and now taking shelter. So, how many rounds you'll chant every day? And the rules that you'll follow? Okay. And you'll make your best effort to carefully follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings the rest of your life. That's a nice vow, isn't it? Initiated name is Tirtharaj Das. What's your favorite tirtha? Tirtha, Raja, means the king of holy places. Now, his name his mother gave him was Tirupati. So maybe he'll think of Tirupati as Tirtharaj. Maybe he'll think of Vrindavan as Tirtharaj. Maybe Tirtharaj. Satyanarayan from Rajamundry. We've also known each other for a good number of years, and with difficulties, obstacles in the path to Krishna, he's continued despite those obstacles, and being guided nicely, and congratulations, you made it. What time did you take rest last night? He came all the way from Rajmundry by train. Pretty late? What time? Morning 6 o'clock. Ooh. Welcome. He'll be with us for the weekend and then back. So, how many rounds you'll chant every day? And the rules that you'll follow? And the 4 rules. You'll follow Prabhupada's teachings carefully, as best you can. Your initiated name is Sumantra Das. He hasn't been hearing the name Sumantra, Sumantra, Sumantra like we have. But I'm sure you know who Sumantra is. Yes? Okay. Okay. How many rounds you'll vow to chant every day? Okay. And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Okay. And she likes reading, so I don't have any worry at all about her. You'll follow Prabhupada's teachings carefully for the rest of your life, yes? Are you nervous? I can feel it. Your initiated name is Vaidarbhi Devi Das. A name of Sita. Okay. Do you want kirtan for a bit or no? No.
Hare Krishna. Om Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Srila Romapada Swami Iti Namine Swaha Swaha Swaha.
Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Swaha 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 Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Swaha 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 Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Saha Swaha Swaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Ittinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatadine Swaha 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 Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ittinamine Shri Varshavanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatadine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvanta Hadine Saha 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 Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambo Jayate Namaha Saha Saha Swaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachit Anandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanugavarayate Saha 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 Gauravir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdishta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Swaha